So okay, good. We still setting everything. I'm trying to make sure the
Okay,
volume
welcome
is
to the
right.
Brown Spade Podcast Show. But before we begin, let's go. All right, welcome to the Brown Spade Podcast Show. So today we have some nice subjects. We got a guest with us, Brother Merk, in the building, and we're going to be talking about child support and relationships. But before we begin, we want to say we're not trying to talk bad about child support. The guys are just talking about their truth and their experience. So that really can't be disputed. And again, we're not trying to like get out of anything. That guys just telling their truths from their experience. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Got my brother Cleve with me from another mother. What's good?
Was good. Was good.
All right. So which one of y'all we're gonna open this thing up? Which one of y'all gonna get it started?
Cleve, go ahead and open up the dialogue. Cleve, go ahead and open it up.
I'll put it like this. For me, it wasn't, as far as child support and everything that I went through, it wasn't as bad as cases that I have heard and people I have talked to.
Yes.
As far as for me, I did, once I, went through my divorce and everything, I put myself, I went through the whole process of going through child support. And, it was an amount that me and, the mother had agreed upon. And I will say that, like I said, my case wasn't as bad, but I have friends who have, went through a lot. One of my friends, he was paying child support, and actually he was paying for 2 kids, and it ended up being when they went to court. Now he paid for 2 kids, and one of the kids wasn't even his. But he paid for 2 kids, and when they went to court and everything and went through the whole process with the courts, that's when he found out that one of the kids wasn't his. And so he was mad. He was devastated because he had paid for so much, so long, and the mother wanted more money. So that's why they ended up going to court. Right. And then they went through the whole process of, finding out that one of the kids wasn't his, and he was livid, like he was mad. Right. Like I said, my case wasn't to that extreme, but me and my daughter's mother, we agreed on, what I was going to pay. Now, closer to like towards the end of child support ending, I wasn't working the same, making the same amount of money. So, I went back to her mother and, request, to reduce it because, I wanted to be more involved in around my daughter's, playing sports and, doing all the things she was doing. So I knew my job was not going to allow me to do that. So I had to either, continue to pay what I was paying or take a pay cut and be, more involved in, in her daily activities.
Right.
So, yeah. What you got, Mark?
Well, let me ask a question then. Daniel, how many children do you have?
Biologically, I have 1, and I'll talk about the rest of it much later.
Okay,
but let me say this: I've never experienced child support, so really, the table is really open to you guys. I'm just going to be talking about, mentioning some things that I just looked up. I never experienced it. I stayed in there. I hung in there until my son graduated and I left, so I didn't have to pay. So I was fortunate. So go ahead.
So my reason for asking is that
I'm
50.
Gotcha.
And I dealt with a lot of that.
Yeah.
This is me coming from a man that has 4 baby mamas
Whew.
and 4 kids.
Yeah.
So now let me tell you, that right there, dealing with different personalities,
Yeah.
different female personalities.
Yeah.
You got them to where everybody back then at that time in the 80s, everybody, I mean in the 90s, everybody got their hand out.
Right.
But if the reason why they had the handout because they can't have you.
Exactly.
They can't have you.
Right.
So it was hard. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
From your license getting suspended
Whew.
to can't see your child.
Yeah.
I don't like that female.
Right.
Man, let me tell you. You had a lot of things in there. Starting out, had my first child, my daughter.
Were you married to your first child's mother?
Nope.
Okay.
My I didn't get married until my 3rd child.
Okay.
But my first child didn't marry her mother. Second child.
How old were you with your first child?
My first child, I was 16.
See, you was a young man. You was a teen.
I was young.
Yeah, you were super young. You were super young.
Yeah, I was super young. I was in high school.
Right.
16, I was in high school. Didn't marry her mother. But tried to keep a line of communication with her and everything. And but the main influence in between our relationship was her parents.
Right.
Her father didn't like me because being from Atlanta, because I ran the streets, he didn't like me.
Yeah.
But she knew the good in me, but he didn't like me. And because she still stayed at home.
Right.
When nothing I could say or do, she still had to abide by his rules at the time.
That's right.
So, moving on from that one, going to my second child, my son. Now I'm out of school. Have him. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
You deal with that female that wants you, and when you want out of the relationship.
Right.
Wanted out of a relationship, it was fine. Got out of a relationship. But that one female don't want you to go and see nobody else. So what they do, they say, hey, you want to see your son, you can't be around her. It's hard.
Right.
Mike, your second child, how old was you during that time? How old was you then?
At that time, I was 18.
Okay, 18.
2 years later, he had another child. So basically, that's
my oldest son. That's my oldest son, Clee, that you met.
So your first child's mother, she was weaponizing the child. She was using it as a weapon, holding over your head, so you couldn't move on with your life.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Now, mind you, out of all this, I done started working at Captain D's, Hardee's, stuff that was in the area. I'm working. I'm paying child support.
Right.
I'm paying this out of my pocket though.
Right.
When my second son, this is when I started realizing about the system, because you start hearing about your buddies and stuff, getting locked up for child support. So I said, hey, you know what? This is my second child. I'm gonna go ahead and do it the right way. I'm gonna go ahead and put myself in the system.
Smart move.
Right. I go down there, put myself in the system. When I did that, before I was doing that, my son, I was going to, his mother used to come by my job, and she used to come by there every week. I mean, every week, every payday, which was no problem. I gave her child support money.
Right.
Every payday. When they let her know that I went down there and put myself over child support, how she found this out, she went down there to go and do it without saying that to me about it. And they told her, they said, well, ma'am, he's already been down here and set it up. We was trying to wait and get a court date to send to you.
Beat it to the
She got so upset. She came up to my job and told me, she said, no, her mom and dad used to come to a Waffle House next to my job. And on the weekend, and they used to bring my son with them because they used to take their grandson to breakfast with them every morning.
Right.
Well, it was right next to my job, and they used to park at my job parking lot and walk over to the restaurant and go eat breakfast. Right. Well, they came up there that morning, had my son with them like clockwork, like usual, on the weekend, on that Saturday morning. So I went over there, and I seen him, and I went to go speak to him. And her mom told me, she said, hey, I got some bad news. I said, what you mean? She said, it's going to be the last time we're going to be able to do this. I said, what are you talking about? She said, we were told that if we bring him up here to see you again, that we won't be able to see our grandson no more. And I was like, wow. And I said, but I'm paying child support. Why would she do it? They said, hey, we don't want to get in between y'all mess, but this is what we got to do. And guess what? That was the last time I seen him, and it caused a gap.
Yeah.
In our relationship.
In your relationship.
Me and my oldest son, we did not reconnect. And at that time, he was about 6 months old. We didn't reconnect again until he was 19.
Which is sad, man. Sad.
So Mike, so your second son, I mean your second child was your oldest?
Yeah.
Sorry.
My oldest boy.
Son was your oldest son.
My first one was my daughter, my oldest daughter.
Okay. Got you. Follow. Okay. So in between that time, you never got a chance to see your son until he was 19?
Yes.
So why is that? Were they still in the same state?
Oh, they were still here. It was that every time I tried to see him, she didn't want me to see him.
Right.
She did not want me to see him. I tried, and right. I even had friends of mine that I knew. I'm not, and like y'all say, I'm not bashing nobody. I'm not saying that. But I had friends of mine, that was a friend of mine, started dating and wound up marrying my son's mother. Wow. And I knew him and would see him. I would see him all the time. And I would tell him, hey, man, tell your wife I want to see my son.
Right.
And he always had an excuse. Man, you know how she is. I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
What they got to do with me?
And
now, he knew. Now, check this out.
Yeah.
This cat knew me. He knew how I was. He knew what kind of a father I am. He knew all about me.
Right.
But he yet and still couldn't. When he helped me out, he didn't want to say that to her. Because when I finally reconnected with my son, which was at a mutual friend of ours, his mom passed. So I went to the funeral. Just so happened all of them popped up at the funeral too. And that's when I seen my son. And I went over there and I talked to him. I said, man, I've been trying to see you. I've been asking about you. And he looked at me, he was like, no, you hadn't. I said, this was in front of everybody out there at the funeral.
Right.
And I said, yes, I have. And I looked at his mom. I said, your husband didn't tell you I've been asking about seeing my son for all these years? And she said, no, he ain't said nothing. And when she looked at him, she said, he been asking. And he said, man, you know I told you about that. So I don't know what happened between them two, how they discussed it, how they played it off.
Right.
But my son had no clue. But he looked at his stepfather and you could see the look in his eyes like, wow, you knew this.
You lied.
You knew my dad was trying to reach me.
Yeah, you lied to me. Yeah.
So Merk, did you ever try to go through the court system to be able to?
Let me tell you. Now, at that time, back then when Mike was little, I went through the court system. I went through that that court system they call Family First. That was one of the big things dealing with child support. That was before they changed child support the way it is now. They base it off of both of the parents' income. At that time, they were just basing it off of the father's income.
Right.
And man, let me tell you, boy, you talking about raping you?
Yeah.
The mother that had to worry about nothing. She could get welfare and child support.
Yeah.
From you, and they had to worry. Excuse me, and they had to worry about nothing.
Yeah, because they just changed the law. I did a little research, not a lot. They just changed the law in 2007.
Yeah.
January 2007, where it's in Georgia again. It's a state by state basis where they even if the mother making more, they compare the both incomes, and that's how it works. They don't just take advantage of the guy no more in the state of Georgia. So that's good for Georgia.
Hey, but you have to watch that one too, though. The reason why I say you got to watch that one too, I got married and had 2 children, had a son and a daughter by this one female.
Yeah.
My ex-wife, my first wife. So let me tell you, let me give you a little short little thing on that one. So, they basing off of, now I'm hearing that they basing it off of, like you said, 2007, they based off both of the parents' income. So I put in to get a review of modification.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm working hard and I'm paying child support. I got papers showing this, and I know the mother is working hard.
Right.
She's working hard because, when my kids telling me, when I do talk to them that, hey, mama got this house and she got these amount of cars. And I'm like, well, goddamn. I'm like, okay, I'm struggling. Honest to God, please, no, I was struggling with one car.
Right.
And at that time, so I was like, well, shit, let's do a review of modification. We can split this thing.
Right.
Man, look here. Went and did that review of modification. When it finally got a chance to where I was able to do it, I had to wind up changing job. And I started driving trucks.
Right.
Well, still that income wasn't much. It was like $56,000 a year.
Right.
So go and do the review of modification. The mom get the same notice, just like I did. So I fill mine out. She fill hers out. We both go to court. Present this paperwork. They look at mine and on a review of modification, you put on there how much, what you spending for groceries, laundry, gas in your car, even your entertainment if you want to go to a movie theater or whatever, toilet paper, and I'm listing everything on there to where I'm down to where I probably would have after in a month I would have probably maybe about $300 left over in a month, right?
Right.
I don't know what she put on her paper. God is my witness. I don't know what she put on her paper. But that judge came back and told me, because my daughter, she hadn't got old enough where it wasn't child support for her no more. So it was just for my son, Jay. The judge came back and told me, I tell you what, we done did a review of modification. We done reviewed both of the parents' salary. And Mr. Wyman, you're going to have to pay $675 a month.
How much? How much?
$675 a month for one child. I said, Your Honor, are you serious right now? So, yes, $675 a month, and I was only making $56,000 a year.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
So why did you pay $675 a month? What did she do?
I don't know what she did.
But let me say this though, she probably fudged the numbers.
Yeah, she did. That's exactly what she did.
She wasn't bringing in income. She came in with some fake numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not bashing nobody. I'm not
bashing nobody.
I just say I don't know what she did.
Was it the state of Georgia?
No, she's in a whole nother state.
Okay. Well, I can't speak for that. Yeah, that's crazy.
But she had to come to court here.
Right.
Yeah, they summoned her here. She came here.
Yeah.
Right.
But she still had to present her what she had. But boy, I don't know what. I was like, you gotta be damn kidding me.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Let
So
me tell you.
she basically had to put down she makes nothing because it's no
Right.
way possible that they came up with the numbers like, okay, we're gonna split it in half. So what because if it was half, that means that child was supposed to get damn near $1,400 a month
Right.
for one child. Nah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
For one child.
I've heard some horror stories with people.
So did you pay that?
Oh yeah.
He had no choice.
I ain't had no choice. I paid it. Let me tell you, big dog. Let me tell you what was heartbreaking though. I paid it. So, you know, my son would come and my young son by her, he would come. They lived in Charlotte. They would come here and we had the kids for the weekend. I mean, during the summer break. And he would stay, he would ride with me in my truck with me.
Right.
And let me tell you. So I'm looking at his clothes, I'm looking at his shoes. I'm like, man, why are you looking like this? Because I'm thinking about how much I'm sending him a month just for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm saying, why your clothes look like that? So he and I said, man, your mom need to get you some better shoes. And he's like, she said this is all she can afford.
Right.
So me not paying no attention.
Right.
I'm speaking just off the top of my head. Man, you got to be kidding me. I pay your mama $675 a month in child support. You mean to tell me you got shoes that's run down or ran over look like that?
Right.
He looked at me, he said, how much?
Right.
And I told him again, she said, you don't pay her no money in child support.
And that's what they do.
I said, are you serious?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I said, are you serious? Came home, I went in the drawer, I pulled out the papers and I showed it to him.
And that right now.
And then before we got to the house, I pulled out my paycheck stub and I showed it to him too. I said, all this money that comes out, it goes to you. Mm-hmm. I said, that's not right. Mm-hmm. And he said, Mama said you don't pay nothing. I said, I'm not gonna be the one to sit here and call your mama a lie, because I don't want nobody to sit here saying that I said, I'm just showing you the truth. I said, one thing about it, you know your dad, I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm gonna show you the truth. And he was sitting there. So it's a lot of parents out there, and it's a lot of mothers out there. The kids know that their mothers be lying. Right. Because even with my oldest son, I had presented it to him. When, like I said, when his grandparents told him about they couldn't come see me, and when I mentioned that to him, he didn't believe me. We got up. We went to breakfast, and me and him talked. And after the funeral, my oldest son, after the funeral, I told him about that. Right. After I told him about that, 2 days later, he called me. He said, "What's going on, Pop?" I said, "Not much. What's going on with you?" I said, "How you doing?" He said, "Good." He said, "Man, I just want to tell you was telling the truth." I said, first I was kind of lost. I said, "Tell the truth about what?" He said, "When you said that my mom told my grandmama not to bring me around you no more." I said, "I told you why. I never lie to you. Right. I'm gonna be straight up with you."
But how did he get that side to come out?
Huh?
How did he get the other side to come out and tell the truth?
He went to it because I told him, because I know how his grandparents are. They so straight up and down to earth, and when they see me, they've always been crazy about me. Right. Even to this day, when we when I go to my grandson's games and stuff like that, they just still crazy about me as if the day when I first met them 30 years ago. Right. They still the same way. Because they know me. So he went and talked. I told him, I said, "You want to find out?" I said, "Go ask your grandmama." I said, they'll tell you the truth. They ain't gonna lie to you. And he did. He went and asked him, and they told him the truth. And then when he came back and told me, and then he asked me, he said, why would my mama lie to me? I said, that's a question between you and her. I can't answer that. That's a question between you and her. He had to ask her about that, and he found out. And then like with my son Jay.
So did she confess to your son that she been holding back this information?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Man.
So Mike, your daughter and your son, you said they moved to Charlotte, right?
Yeah, well, their mother moved them to Charlotte.
Okay. Did she have? I mean, did she basically let you know she was moving to Charlotte? How did
no. Man, let me tell you. Because we had got a divorce. In my divorce papers, it says on the divorce paper, I got equal joint custody of the kids, just like her, and it's stated in the divorce papers.
Right.
I still got them to this day. Still, it's stated in the divorce papers that that I need to know about their schooling, where they go to school at, how they doing,
right,
and everything. I need to know just everything that she need to know. I need to know the same thing. And before she could move out of the state of Georgia, she was supposed to discuss it with me, and we were supposed to go to court about it because I was gonna have to know about if they did move out of the state of Georgia, where they were gonna be at.
Exactly.
Because we had equal joint custody.
Right.
It was in our divorce papers. So at one point in time, after I had the kids, I wound up going to prison. I went to prison, did prison time. And I came home. Well, when I came home, she filed for divorce while I was in there.
Right.
So I got me a lawyer, and I had my lawyer to hold it off until I came home.
Right.
He held it off till I came home, and we went to court to finalize that divorce the day after I came home.
Right.
So I came home, went to court that next day, show up in the courtroom to finalize the divorce. She's sitting in the courtroom 8 months pregnant. Oh yeah. So we go ahead and get that. We go ahead and get that finalized. So the judge so right now I know everything about my kids.
Right. So
now I need to know. I want to go to the school and go see them because I talked to her. Hey, what we're gonna do about this weekend thing? Right. She wasn't sure about it. Her man was going through their little ups and downs, and he didn't want me around. He didn't want me talking to her and all this old crap. And I told him, man, I just came home. I want to see my kids. I don't care what y'all do.
Right.
It's all about my kids.
Right.
He didn't want me around, and I'm a problem. And I'm like, okay, dude, can I just see my kids? So I said, okay, I'm finna go. I'll just go to the school. So when I go to the school and go see them, they tell me at the school. I said, I'm here to see my son and my daughter. And they said, no, you can't. Only the mother's there. I said, well, I got the papers to show it and prove it. I showed them the papers. Well, the principal looked and was like, yeah, you're right. The assistant principal was cool with the mother. So she go ahead and call the mother and let the mother know
that you're there,
that I was there. So I'm sitting there with the kids having a good time.
It's crazy.
2 days later, I told my mom, hey, I seen the kids. She said, I ain't seen my grandkids. I want to go see them. I said, okay, cool. Me and my mom get together, and me and her go by the school and to go see the kids. We get to the school, and the principal say, the kids are not here. I said, they ain't here. What, they sick? She said, nah, their mother pulled them out. I said, say what? She said, yeah, she pulled them out. I said, come on, man. I said, y'all just lying to me. Y'all don't want me to see my children. She said, no, I'll show you the papers. Well, it was the assistant principal. She showed me the papers, but she didn't show me the papers where they were going. So I said, so you had to send the papers transcript somewhere.
That's right.
Where did you send them to?
Right.
And she said, they haven't came through yet. But when they come through, I'll let you know. I said, okay. And I knew she was lying because they had to send them somewhere. That's by state law.
Right.
So I said, okay. So I wait the next day. I called up to the school the next day. I talked to the principal, told the principal what was going on. So the principal was like, you know what? She should have told you the truth. Because she had those kids. She said, I'm finna email. She said, no, she said, I'm finna email you the paperwork where these kids went. I said, okay. She sent me the paperwork of the school that they wound up going to in Charlotte. I said, what? She done pulled them out in 2 days. Pulled them out and enrolled them in a school in Charlotte, North Carolina.
So they was in South Carolina. Then she enrolled in North Carolina.
They was in Georgia.
They was here in Cobb County.
Okay, and they went all the way. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Without him knowing.
Right, without no knowledge. Hold on a second. Hold that thought, man. I'm just trying to give a shout out. Terrell Redmond said he had went through the exact same thing with his ex-wife and tried to put him on child support after he already had completed it himself. Aunt B said he said the sheriff served him child support papers while his son lived in the same house as him. And he said, but the mother was receiving a check while the child was living with him. So,
and that happens so much. I know several guys who got, because they just want to see their kids, they will pay the mother child support just so they can see their kid. That happens a lot. I know several cases on that.
Yeah, man. So go ahead, brother. Continue your story, man. I mean,
man, let me tell you, I can write a book. I can write a book on it, man. But I wind up. So I did. I wind up. Please will tell you, man. I did a lot of footwork. I did a lot of footwork.
Yeah.
I tell you, I did a lot of footwork.
Yeah.
To even track her down.
Right.
And in a whole nother state.
That's
I
crazy.
tracked her down, and it took me to do a lot of paperwork to even wind up. And what I wound up doing, I wound up getting her what's the word for it when you I wound up getting her subpoena back to court
to come back to Georgia.
I wound up getting her subpoena to come back to go back to court about this in Georgia. We about her leaving.
Right.
Judge didn't do anything. Judge allowed them to stay. Didn't allow her to come back. But every time I got ready to see the children, I want to set up the visitation because we had equal right visitation, and I was supposed to pick up the kids every first and third weekend of the month.
Right.
And because she went to a whole nother state, this wasn't gonna work out. So we had to come up with new arrangements. So we came up with a new arrangement, but she didn't want to follow through with the arrangement. She used to sit back and tell me, I don't care what you say. Ain't no judge gonna dictate what I do with my children. I said, man, look at here. It's not about what a judge is doing. All I want to do is see my children. I pay child support. I just want to see them. I don't care what do you do.
Right.
But you ain't no court system finna dictate what I do with my children. I said, okay, all right. I said, okay. I said, now mind you, I done been to prison. They can dictate how you do whatever the hell you do. So I said, okay, I'm gonna prove it to you. I subpoenaed her ass so many times.
Right.
Excuse my language. I subpoenaed her so many times. To the point where she started waving that white flag like, okay, because it was costing her money to come from Charlotte to Atlanta, to DeKalb County.
Right.
Every time.
That's right.
Even though it was costing me gas money to go up there and pay them sheriffs to put this note on her door.
But it was worth it.
God doggone it. I want to see my children.
It was worth it.
We're gonna take this route.
Yeah.
We're gonna run this route. And we kept running it. But I'm gonna tell you what really did it though. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I'm not, for in case my children ever see this video, I'm not proud of what happened. I'm just happy that for what I'm finna say, I'm just happy that a judge finally seen and understood where I was coming from. We
And
got in that courtroom.
And the wrongdoing that came from her.
Hold on, I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear y'all. Let me see something.
Can you hear?
I can't hear Daniel.
Can you hear?
No.
Can you hear
it now?
Can you hear
Okay,
me?
I hit the mute again.
Can you hear me?
Mark,
I can't hear you cats at all.
see if you could go out and, well, he can't hear me.
Oh, he can't hear him phone. Can you hear him?
Nah, he can't hear.
Cleveland about to call you. Cleveland calling you.
Okay, he finna call?
Yeah.
About the text.
Yeah, text you. He gonna text you. Text you. Oh man, that is crazy.
Nah, I don't see nothing from Cleve yet.
Okay, just hold tight.
There you go.
Okay, what do you say? Okay, you there, Dan? You say something?
Yes, can you hear me? Still can't hear me.
See if you could go out and come.
Try to go out and come back in.
He said go out and come back.
Yes, go out and come back. Yes.
All right.
All right. And if he want me to, I can resend him the thing. Cleve, there you go. You want me to resend it to invite to him?
No, he should be able to use the same one and come back in.
Okay.
Yeah, he should be able to use the
same.
But
But before he come back in, man, the men in this nation, in this country, 87% pay child support versus female 10%. Can you hear us, Merk?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, hold tight. I'm just throwing some statistics while you was having difficulty. I was saying 7% of men pay child support in this country, and women pay only 10%. And they say the average child support is $430, but all this stuff is predicated on your money and stuff like that. But and they also said never let a female say, "Oh, I took you off child support." They said that's one of the biggest ways they get the guys in trouble too.
Right.
Yeah, but go ahead, brother. Finish your story.
All right. So one way that really what I think what kind of broke her back on this.
Right.
We was in the courtroom.
Right.
I think like the third time I had her subpoenaed back here to Georgia.
Right.
And the judge sat back and said, because I have been telling her, okay, I want to see the kids. And she been telling me, no, I don't want to see them. And I was supposed to pick them up for the summer, keep my kid for the summer. And she was, because my daughter was older, she wanted to do her own thing. But my son, I was still supposed to pick him up and everything. And she was sitting back saying, no, he going to a summer camp. And I said, well, he's supposed to spend the summer with me. You going to go and schedule that? Why you? Yeah. I can do what I want to do. And I said, but he's supposed to be with me.
Been there, done
that. Why you doing that? I said, here you go. You keep doing what you want to do. I said, okay, I'm going to keep dragging you back in court. Well, that last time, I drug her back in court about it. And the judge said, you know what? Mr. Whiteman, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you the option. And boy, it felt so good. He said, I'm going to give you the option. You got the option right now to let her do 1 day in jail, 1 week in jail, 1 month in jail, and 1 year in jail. He said, it's all up to you. Dog, I was sitting there.
She was sweating bullets, huh?
And yeah, she was sitting there with her mouth wide open with her lawyer. My daughter, Victoria, was with her. Yeah. My daughter was with her. And my wife now, she was with me. And I want to say, give her a year so she can see what I'm talking about.
That's right. That's right.
But she told my wife now, she said, if you do that right now to your kids, you'll look like the bad guy.
That's right. That's right.
Bad as I know you want to do that to her so she can get a good understanding, so it'll be a lesson to her. But in your kids, you'll look like the bad guy. And they may hate you and despise you for the rest of your life. And she said, and you're doing this for them, but they won't understand.
Right.
They'll think you out after their mom. And I said, whew, it was so hard. And I said, I stood up and I said, you know what, Your Honor? I said, I don't want to do none of that. All I want to do is start a fresh new slate.
Mm. She would have had to do 1 day in jail for me.
Let me tell you.
Hey, Dan, you would have picked up. You would have been there to pick her up too, huh?
You would have had 1 day in jail. You would have had 1 day in jail.
Hey, Dan, you would have said, "How was it in there?
Right?
Did you good?"
Yeah. Do you feel
Hey, I just want to say, if my kids ever see this or watching this now, I want to tell them, I did want to send your mama to jail because she took me through a lot. Man, let me tell you, that child support is when they put that in the system, it hurt the black man so bad because
Absolutely.
a lot of black females, to me, I figure a lot of black females, they use that so much.
Yeah.
I had my other son mom because if the child support check if she didn't get, cause if y'all can remember back then, it was supposed to be there on the 1st of the month.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
If she didn't get it because of the first, because holiday or whatever, and they didn't deliver the mail on Monday, do you know she was going down to that child support office and telling them that I didn't pay child support? Right. They didn't want to go in the system and see and say, "Hey, ma'am, it's a holiday."
Right.
They would go in the system and type it in there. Next thing you know, I'm coming down I-20. I got police pulling me over.
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
It's a warrant for your arrest. What do you mean? Now, mind you, I'm just getting off work. What do you?
Mark.
What happened?
I don't know.
He hit something. It was something you hit, bro. He must have got a new phone or something.
You're going to have to do the same thing. You're going to have to go out and come back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
and also, Cleve, I don't know if you, I know it's your child is grown now, but you get credit for if you go in your pocket for extracurricular activities.
Okay.
You off of this one, bro.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
I'm like,
did you know that?
What do you mean? It's a warrant out for your arrest for not paying child support. I pulled out because I done dealt with that situation over the years. I had my paycheck stubs in the glove box. I pulled them out and I showed that police. I said, "Man, look here. When am I not paying?" I said, "Can you tell?" I said, "Matter of fact, here go my paycheck from last week. You see, they just took it out. When am I not paying? They take it out of my check."
And that happens to so many men because.
What did the police do? How did the police handle that situation?
He said, "Ain't nothing I can do about it. It's in our system saying that you missed child support." I said, "You can go back in these paycheck stubs for over a year. Where did I miss? They take it out every week. It's mandatory. They take it out.
Right.
It comes out in automatic." I said, "So where did I miss?" He said, "I'm sorry. I just got it. It's in our system."
Oh my God, right.
And guess what? He locked me up. A warrant. I had to wind up paying to get out, and then going back down there and going to the driver's license place. I had to pay to get out of jail. I had to pay at the driver's license place to get my license reinstated, getting the suspension off. And I'm like, and then when I go to the child support office and say, "Hey, why are y'all doing this?" And they say, "Well, the mama came down here." I said, "But y'all knew it was a holiday. And they automatically take it out my check. So why are y'all doing this?" And they say, "Well, she came down here and said," I said, "Are you serious? Is it that easy?"
Right.
Is it easy?
It is that.
For her to just walk
the
down
laws
there
are changing. The laws are changing. But yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's that easy. Yeah.
Let me tell you, right now, all my kids are grown and gone. Boy, y'all don't know how happy they are right now.
But look,
What part of
The youngest one, the youngest one, like Cleo, he in truck driving school right now. Man, I'm so happy right now. They in their 20s and 30s. Hey man, you talking about can breathe right now?
but here's the thing though. It's not even about us paying the money. It's the fact that what we go through, you know what I'm saying, just to see our kids. Just to be able to, you know, and the thing is, I know more men that are going through this than I know who are deadbeat dads. And I know everybody always push that issue, but I know more men that do deal with this than are actually out here that are deadbeat dad and that's getting away with stuff.
Clee, dang, y'all, let me say something. I know it's probably, I can't see the comment. I know it's probably a lot of brothers on here. And all the brothers who watching this, and I know y'all probably going, if y'all agree with me, y'all put a thumbs up y'all put a thumbs up in the comment box when I say this. After you get through paying child support, maybe probably about a couple of years go by, when you see that same baby mama, they act like y'all best friends.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Do you know what you did in my damn life?
Yeah.
You know what you did to me.
Right.
Hey,
but
thumbs
they say,
up.
hey,
thumbs up.
What you been up to?
Thumbs up.
What you mean what I've been up
thumbs
to?
Up.
Hey, but you know the crazy part of it is I've heard stories. Again, I never experienced the child support thing. But the crazy part about it is I've heard several stories, I mean, throughout my adulthood where you have two different baby fathers. She had about two different guys, the same mother. And the guy who's working, doing the right thing, he catch the most hell, and the guy on the street, he gets away with bloody murder.
Yes.
I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Yes. It's like that. And I have so many friends that have, like you said, Merk, once they get done with the child support and everything, see, because now it's almost like the person wants to stay in contact with you because they know you wasn't a bad parent. They know you wasn't a bad parent. You might not have been the best of mate, but they know you're not a bad parent. But
look, don't want you around your kid, but all of a sudden you hear your kid, you hear your child saying right now, man, my mama say, I just like my
right.
He didn't mute again.
That did.
He didn't mute again. But yeah, it's stories like that happen all the time. Where they end up coming off child support, you know, in a relationship. And for me, mine was a little different because I went through that. I didn't go through no extreme like, you know, like guys have heard, but I went through the whole thing where my daughter's so busy I can't see her. You know, it's like they make plans on you know, on my weekend or on, you know, when I'm supposed to get or whatever. So I went through the same thing. And I would look like the bad guy, but I say, look, take her out of this. You know, take her out of that because I'm supposed to get her this weekend or I'm supposed to. But I just roll with the punches. And everybody I know that's been through this, they all said the same thing. Like, later on, your child is going to come back. You know, your relationship.
The crazy part of it is you got a positive black man who's trying to be with his kids, trying to be a great father, active in the life. He's paying what the court ordered him to do, and you still giving this man hell to see his own children. And this is why we have horrible relationships. A lot of us have horrible relationships with our children.
Hey, Dane, but let me tell you something.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
Guess what? Now that the child support is over with, now it's like they let that leash go and let the children go. Man, let me tell you, me and my kids especially me and my boys are like this.
Yeah, inseparable.
Right. Me and my daughter, you know, girls, they grew up, we butt heads. But, you know, they don't want you to look at them as still baby girl and all this.
Right.
I'm grown now. But guess what? Me and my children, I can call and talk to either one of them with no problem right now.
Right.
But And we got that line of communication where, I mean, I'm talking about it's like me and my boy, man, we it's so cool. Like how they say old school, man, we cool in the fan, man.
Yeah.
And
hold on, but you know what the crazy part about it is, Merk, you're very fortunate because a lot of guys still have problems with their relationship with their kids because they never got a chance to turn that corner the way you and your kids did.
Right. I'm so glad.
But Merk, you was consistent too. A lot of men give up. A lot of men say, you know what? I'm done. Right. I'm done. And I can understand that. I can understand that because you it's like you having your ex-wife in your house or your ex-girlfriend or your baby mama in your house because the kids pick up their ways so much that you're dealing with it. Yeah, that you're dealing with it so much.
Okay, there we go. He back. Can you hear us?
He can't hear us. He probably can't hear us. But yeah, guys deal with this all the time, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man.
It is, man.
Can you hear us?
Nah, he gonna have to go out and come back in. But this is a topic, and we have
Kareem Makbul. He said, "I'm glad that I was able to come in and understand with the ex-wife without getting the courts involved."
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, because a lot of guys we don't like now. Now is the system has changed a little bit. It's still kind of leaning a little bit towards the mother.
Still one-sided, yeah.
Yeah, but now the system is totally different because most of the time the kids are with the mother. But I'm willing to bet you if men was to start fighting for the kids just as hard as the women fight for that check, men will start getting custody of the kids.
But you shouldn't have to.
You shouldn't have to. But
this only happens in America.
Mm-hmm.
On the Western Hemisphere.
Oh yeah.
You go anywhere else, there is no system, and then it makes the girl think a lot more. You know, she got to be more conscious of who she's sleeping with, who she's making babies with. You know, they don't care about her feelings as far as she gonna be vindictive. They like, okay, if y'all want to make kids, that's what it is.
But listen, I have heard, and I agree with this, where they got systems to where.
Yeah, hold on, let me get this call. Hello. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Cleve, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Hey, man, next time I gotta figure out how to do this thing on the computer, man.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'm
doing ringing like crazy.
Yeah, I'm doing the show.
They sitting here saying, "Man, you on the podcast?"
Okay, bye.
Oh hell, you got all kind of police and baby mama looking for you now, Jack.
But what I was saying, you got. I've heard in some places, some parts of the world where if the mother has the child and the father's not around, if they're not married, then everything falls back on the mother. And I think that would change a lot of, especially in the United States, where women would stop, going out having kids out of wedlock. I mean, it'll stop. I'm not saying 100%, but it'll stop a lot of, kids being brought into this world not having both of their parents.
Right.
And this is how it was back in the day. People was not just having kids unless they was married. They used to frown upon that. You couldn't sit up in the church with you and all your kids. No, they was not doing that. And then you had people back when my mother and my grandmother, when my grandmother was growing up, where they would send the child away and send the mother away because you out here having babies out of wedlock. You're not even married.
Can you hear us, Merk? Merk having difficulty again. He'll figure it out.
Yeah, he'll figure it out.
There you go. You back, Merk.
And I think the child support system. I think if you're married and you get and you and the wife or the husband, y'all split up, I think the husband should definitely pay child support. Because the child is gonna be in that household. But these women that's out here just having baby daddy. I think the court needs to change that. I think they do. And that's just my opinion. It's nothing written in stone, but I think
they definitely need to hold. They need to hold themselves more accountable. The system need to hold them more accountable. And I will say this, I think the system is a very antiquated system because of the way of the fabric of the country. When you had back in the days when only the men used to work, used to have most of the jobs, and those laws, a lot of those laws still exist. And so now you press fast forward where you have women these days make just the same as much as men, if not more. But they're still using that same law to abuse men in the system. And I think that's very unfair, and it's definitely very unbalanced.
Yeah, and once you get the system involved, they basically because the thing is the system is set up. If you getting child support, not child support, but if you're getting welfare, right, and the system is involved, they're gonna go after that. They're gonna come to you and say, look, where's the father? If you say you don't know where the father's at, they're gonna tell you, well, you're gonna have to find out who the father is, you know. But if you are able to find the father, they're gonna give you support,
right? But
they're gonna go after that father,
right?
They're gonna go after that father, right. And it's sad. It's just sad the way the system is set up. And a lot of times, men, which we can't determine. You know, we can't say, no, we don't want to have a child, or no, you know, we shouldn't have a child. If a man and woman sit down and lay down, everybody always talk about 50-50. You know, a man was there when a woman was there. I totally agree. I totally agree that it was a man there and it was a woman there. So if they have the rights to say whether I'm a father or not, then guess what? The child support shouldn't fall directly on the father, because if it's 50-50, like they say, child support shouldn't fall directly on the father the way it does. It just shouldn't. It just shouldn't.
All right, man. I know you got another appointment to make. So, in closing, what you want to say? We're close to an hour, not quite, 4 minutes shy. What you got to say, bro?
This was a good show. You know, I'm glad Merk got to come on here and talk about, you know, what's going on, because this happened a lot, you know, with men, and just how the court system. You know, we catch so much, you know, hell going through the court system, but I'm glad that it is changing. You know, a small percentage of men are, you know, seeing, you know, justice when it comes to this court system. But this was a good show, and I think a lot of men are going to see this and be able to relate to it, which is sad.
And I just want to say too, I read your comments, Terrell, and like he said, the child support is for the child. I agree with him 1,000%. Where a lot of mothers, they get this money, and this money they're using it for their personal usage. They're using it to make car notes. They're using it to buy clothes and materialistic things for themselves when that money is meant for the child. And so, but again, there's nobody to watch them or to govern them to make sure that money is allocated toward the child. So it's a system, again, it's very antiquated, and it's like the system is really set up against men. When you think about it, it's really set up for us to fail or to have us up on a lot of extreme pressure, unnecessary pressure, because life alone brings pressure by itself. You know, going on the job, you know, we know a responsible man knows to take care of his child. I think going to the court system should be the last resort, in my opinion. You know, I don't think some stranger should tell me what I'm able to do, you know. But that's another show for a whole different day. I want to thank Taib for chiming in, Kareem, Mahbub, Erica. I see you put the eyeballs up. Yeah, she that means she agree. Terrell, thanks for coming in, bro. Merk, I know you're having phone problems. We appreciate you. Aunt B, we see you. Thank you. You gotta take a picture, man. Post up with the shirt. Send it to me, man, so I can put it on my Instagram. For those out there, please press the like, share, subscribe. And the next show will be Thursday. It's going to be a good one. On that note, peace.